Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, a weekly podcast series in which we quickly sum up our game reviews from the past week at GamingUnion.net. My name is Brian, and I'm here with Daryl.
On The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, or GBF, we give short descriptions and our basic verdict of each game we've reviewed in the last 7 days. These shows will be short and to the point, and if you want to find out more information about any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full reviews on GamingUnion.net.
This episode will be summing up our game reviews from February 20th to 28th, 2011. Our first game is Naruto Shippuden Shinobi Rumble, a Nintendo DS title. This installment of Naruto follows the style of the classic brawler, a game with a fairly bare-bones story, but one that is good for people who aren't familiar with the series as it helps catch you up. While players can play with their friends, unless they all have a DS and the game, most players will be playing against the AI. And unfortunately, the AI do seem fairly mediocre and easily tricked. Giving this a 7 out of 10 essentially means that fans of this series will, for once, not be disappointed in what they get out of this installment. However, strangers to the series might do best to steer clear.
Our next game is the much anticipated PlayStation 3 exclusive Killzone 3. This first-person shooter picks up where the story of its predecessor, Killzone 2, leaves off, and the battle between the ISA and the Helghast rages on. Killzone 3, while a shooter by nature, adds much more to the gameplay with a large number of vehicle sections, not to mention further developing the covering system for the shooter sections. The amazingly addictive online multiplayer mode is also back with some minor improvements over Killzone 2, but largely stays the same. Killzone 3 also provides the option of using the new PlayStation Move hardware, which to date seems to be more accurate and easy to use than any of the other motion controlled experience we've had. With perfectly polished presentation from the graphics to the sound, the voice acting and even the special effects, Killzone 3 makes an impressive experience. Having earned a 9 out of 10 on the site, Killzone 3 is a must-have for any FPS fan, and even those who aren't should certainly check it out.
Our third game is Explodemon, a 2.5D platforming puzzle game found on the PlayStation Network. You play as Explodemon, a character who, as his name implies, is capable of exploding himself. Using this mechanic, you journey to 3 different worlds to battle your enemy, the Vortex, who has attacked and currently occupies your home world of Nibia. While the game begins as an enjoyable experience, it quickly can become tedious and repetitive, clocking in over 5 hours for the bare-bones story mode and an additional 10+ hours for achievements. Explodemon is by no means a short game by downloadable standards. While the game is not bad, it's also not great. The experience feels a tad mediocre and the game is fairly middle of the road. Our score of 6 out of 10 says that the game is average and can supply a fun experience, but an experience that could be short-lived and repetitive. If you like the genre, feel free to give it a shot, but if you're looking for a more expressive, unique, or engaging game, it might be best to leave this title on the virtual shelf.
Our fourth game is PopCap Hits from the Xbox 360, but it's actually a collection of 4 different games from the PopCap game library. It includes Peggle, Bejeweled 2, Astropop, and Feeding Frenzy. The gameplay for each is extremely simple and is aimed at the casual gaming market. Astropop, for example, challenges you to remove all the colored blocks on screen by pairing them with other similarly colored blocks. Bejeweled 2 challenges people with lining up similar colored jewels in rows or columns of at least 3. Feeding Frenzy plops you into the water and has you eating fish to grow in size, but trying to eat fish that are bigger than you may result in an untimely death. And finally, Peggle is the jewel in the cap. It's an incredibly successful game where you launch a ball and try to have it bounce off as many pegs as you can in the gameplay arena. While Peggle is a title that has decently expansive gameplay for the casual game, the same cannot be said about the other 3, unfortunately. Earning our 7 out of 10 purely because of Peggle means that casual gamers will find probably a lot to enjoy from the 4 titles, but hardcore gamers will be best just getting Peggle as a standalone product.
Our fifth and final game is Crasher, the online PC car combat title. The story is minimal and pretty much non-existent as Crasher focuses on getting the player directly into the combat experience. After tackling the tutorials and choosing your car, players can launch into the action. While the design is sturdy and nothing new, the game suffers incredibly in 2 major areas. First, the community for this online game is practically non-existent. In addition, the game often suffers from terrible lag. However, if the developers can improve these issues and find a way to draw more people into the game, the experience would be quite enjoyable. Our score of 7 out of 10 may seem generous, but the game truly has a lot to offer. If you have some friends who want to get into the action with you, pick this up today. However, if you'll be going at it alone, hold off until the fan following increases. And that about wraps up this episode of GBF. We have an exciting list of reviews for next week, so make sure to check back in. If you want more info on any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full reviews on GamingUnion.net.
Also, be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed to keep up to date on all our reviews. Just search for Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts Union podcast on the iTunes channel, or you can download the episodes directly off of GamingUnion.net.
If you have comments, suggestions, or discussion points, feel free to join us on the forums or follow us on Twitter. Our account is twitter.com/GamingUnion. Until next time, my name is Brian.
And I'm Daryl.
And this has been a GamingUnion.net and TweaksMusic.com production.